everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another episode of Energy Wars for you, where I take a look at different energy drinks and give you my perspective on their qualities, put through a gauntlet of different challenges, be it calories, caffeine, vitamins, etc. And we give it a grade at the end out of 100. So today I've got the traditional Red Bull. This is not the zero sugar one, it's the regular. I've actually never had this one before, so I'm looking forward to taking a look at it and giving it a try. Let's get into it. So first thing we're going to look at are the ingredients on this. Something I've noticed versus like the Monster Energies and some of these other energy drinks, Reign, that we've looked at already. This can does not have a whole lot of claims on it other than the traditional, vitalizes body and mind, gives you wings type advertising. So looking at the calories here, because it's not a zero sugar energy drink, it does have more calories. We're looking at 160, and of those calories we've got 41 grams of carbs and 38 grams of sugar. This is actually relatively high, but you might be surprised to hear this. I'm not opposed to this. 160 calories, that's going to give you some sugar, especially if you're a strength athlete going into training. That sugar can be helpful to give you energy on top of the caffeine. So as far as the calories go, I'm going to put this in the upper end. 160 calories might be creeping into the high end of things, but I'll give this a very favorable 8 out of 10 rating for the calories. Now, other people might have preferences, want to keep those calories low, but for me, I like some calories from sugar in an energy drink. Next up, we have caffeine, and this one's actually somewhat surprising to me, if I can find where they have it listed here. This caffeine content is 114 milligrams per 12 ounces, and this is a 12-ounce can. I know they sell 8 ounces and they sell the bigger ones too. 114 milligrams of caffeine actually isn't a ton. If you were to compare it, that's probably, a cup and a half-ish of strong black coffee, So, and to compare it to Reign or Bang, those are going to have 300 milligrams of caffeine. So this is certainly on the lower end of the caffeine spectrum. For someone like me who likes stimulants, this is actually quite low. But if you're a smaller person or you're more sensitive to caffeine, then, this certainly might be okay. Now moving over to our vitamin spectrum. Red Bull here, they're keeping it simple, right? They're trying to rely on some of that caffeine. You can tell they're relying on their brand name, and then they also have the sugar to bring you some energy. And then they stack in the vitamin 3, so they have niacin, which is vitamin B3, sitting at 140%. Then vitamin B12 is at 120%, and B6 is at 350% of the daily value. So all of those well over 100% of the daily value. You'll see the vitamin Bs are consistent in these energy drinks because they have the most to do with your body's energy systems. To me, as long as we're over 100%, we're okay. I would like to see these two probably a little higher to kind of really feel that effect. I'll give this a solid let's give this a 5 out of 10 because it also doesn't have any vitamin A, vitamin C, anything else on the spectrum to add to these vitamin Bs. So kind of just midline here. All right, so that does it for the ingredients. Overall, not super impressed. The biggest thing I like is these calories, the sugar for my workout. Now, let's go ahead and go to preferences. And I had mentioned before, I've actually never had a regular Red Bull, which is kind of funny because I believe these are the best-selling energy drinks in the world. So let's crack it open. Okay, so To me, it's reminiscent of an original Monster, which I have had way back in the day. I can't really place if there is a specific flavor they're going for. With it being called Red Bull, I expected like a fruity flavor. Certainly not a fruity flavor. Kind of traditional energy drink. I'm not the biggest fan. I can deal with that flavor, but it is on the lower end of the spectrum for me. Probably not going to go out of my way to find these to drink. Now, we'll move over to claims. So, I'm torn here. This can does not have nearly as many outlandish claims as, for example, we saw on Rain or the Monster Rehab, where they're trying to say it'll give you focus and it has electrolytes, right? Red Bull is not doing this, and for good reason. They're keeping it to the bare minimum, basically sugar and a small amount of caffeine. And for that reason, their claims are going to score pretty high. I will note that their, claim to fame, their catchphrase is Red Bull gives you wings. And with 110 milligrams of caffeine, that's not going to give anybody wings, I'll be honest. So we'll kind of give this middle of the road, maybe to the higher end, 7 out of 10, because they're not going out of their way to try and claim anything that they aren't. And then for me, X Factor, some people might want to throw in here, it has the brand value. I had obviously never tried it. Looking at the ingredients list in here, they keep it pretty basic. If anything, there's some taurine in here, but that's enough. Not enough for me to give bonus points for X Factor. So to go ahead and add these together, we've got 8 plus 5 is 13, plus this 17, 21, 28, 28 double it. Our final score for the traditional Red Bull is a 56 out of 100, which is an F as far as the scale goes. Now, let's think, in the scoring, I certainly have some personal preference. Taste scored low. To me, caffeine scored low. But this is a pretty middle of the line energy drink. If you want it for a coffee replacement, certainly use that, but that kind of takes the calories out of it if you're not having it before the gym. But if you really like the taste, I understand. I know a lot of people really like this energy drink. Okay? So hopefully you all enjoyed the episode. If you did, check out my other ones. Give it a like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any specific energy drinks you want me to take a look at. And until next time, happy lifting.